How many of our listeners are in the joy of menopause or perimenopause? Are you listening to us between 1 and 3 a.m. as you're melting with a hot flash?
Friend, we totally get you. Our saving grace is our Cozy Earth bamboo bedding. We truly love their sheets that keep us cooler as we walk through the messy middle of our body changes. These sheets will help you to upgrade your nights and transform your days with Cozy Earth.
We also love the pajamas that keep us cooler through the night and are super cute to wear when you get those treasured, relaxing mornings with your drink of choice. Oh, and the Luxe bath sheets, they are so soft and calming after a good workout, a stressful day of work, or with the kids, or even just having an amazing game of pickleball. A must have to remind yourself that you deserve to celebrate you.
So go to cozyearth.com and use the code It's Your Birthday for an exclusive discount for up to 40% off. We hope that you love Cozy Earth as much as we do.
Today, it's your birthday. Guess what? Yesterday was too. And so is tomorrow. Not sure what that means? Let us introduce you to this powerful concept and to our community. We are thrilled that you have joined. And our mission is to empower, teach, and remind women to celebrate themselves. Combined, we have over 35 years' experience as therapists in private practice. It was in the office, as well as in some of our personal relationships, we were hearing week after week about women struggling and not feeling seen or alive during their messy middle life stage. If you're curious how we define this life stage, or if you're experiencing it too, go back to episode 2.
Today, we come to you not as your therapists, but rather two women in this life stage with you. We are here to be your friends. Our podcast promises to talk about the hard or uncomfortable topics in a way to empower you, laugh along the way as part of our healing, and find joy in life. We strive to find meaning in the middle of the messy or the unknown. What sets us apart? We leave you with gifts each and every episode. These may come in the form of actionable tools and strategies, or invitations to be exactly where you are, and sometimes, mic drop, thought-provoking ideas. Now that we are friends, let's make this official. We would love to help you start your Thursday mornings off right with us. So make sure you follow the show wherever you listen and sign up for our free newsletter at yourbirthdaypodcast.com. Ready for some gifts to start living your life how you want? Take the free quiz on our website and gifts will be dropped into your inbox immediately.
Happy New Year! We are excited to be doing 2025 with you. This episode is dedicated to all of you that struggle with, or better yet, are boycotting New Year's resolutions. You're not alone in that feeling. We promise you. Now, if you are someone who loves New Year's resolutions, we're lifting our cups of coffee, tea, or even a margarita to you. And we ask you, please jump on our Facebook or our Instagram page and share what you love about them, the spark it ignites in you, and how you keep going. If you're new here, we always stop for a moment. We invite you to grab your beverage of choice, get cozy, and better yet, turn up the volume if you really need to hear this message. And let's kick off season 2 of It's Your Birthday together.
Woohoo! Okay, so this was a topic that I was determined on, and we touch on it in season 1 when we tell people to gift themselves early of what their vision is. I friggin' hate New Year's resolutions. I
was going to say, this one's dedicated to you, Christina.
Right. I hate them. Well, I mean, I'm barely ever in the gym, period, but I'm absolutely not in the gym in January. You will not see me making a list of what I expect to happen because in my world, it sets people up for failure. And then you literally leave with this feeling of not being good enough. And so I won't do it. Like,
Right.
I will not do it. I
And I
will.
think,
Yeah, go ahead.
no, no, I love what you're saying because if you're new to us, we're really inviting you to go back to season one. And throughout it, we sprinkle to do the things for you to invest in having an it's your birthday life. You truly have to drop the judgment. And I think that's the piece that you're saying. Like, if you set the resolution and then you don't do the thing, you're inviting the shame and the judgment cycle. So I love you're like eliminating that by like possibly not even doing the resolution.
Ugh, no, no. But here's what I'm saying. If you do a New Year's resolution and you message us or you post on Insta that you do it and you accomplish it, girl, I am all about you and I'm celebrating you. I just know for myself, I don't have the willpower or the stamina to be able to hold that out. And I don't want to walk away feeling failure. So I'm not judging you if you do them. Let me just say that. But also, if you do it and it doesn't work out, like, come hang with me because I get you, sister. And I'm all over you about like, you're cool and you're not a failure.
You're talking about like the pressure that resolutions possibly
Yeah.
can bring.
Oof. Nobody needs pressure after Christmas, right? Or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever beautiful holiday you're celebrating. Nobody needs pressure after that. We just need to be able to relax and like recoup all of our energy.
Right. So if you gift yourself not doing resolutions, you're kind of going against the grain of like not doing quote unquote traditional resolutions because those so often can seem like really rigid or unattainable. Like if someone were to say, I'm going to completely quit drinking. Now, if that is what you need to do for your health and for your family and for your lifestyle, absolutely. But if you're not ready to do that, or it's not safe to do that, and then to say that, it might be obtainable. Or if someone says, I'm going to lose weight or I'm going to save money, like if it's a really rigid statement, you might be setting yourself up for that failure space that we're talking about, that we want to gift yourself to not even have to do that.
Right. If you haven't figured us out yet, we're speaking to our fellow perfectionists in this world
Yep.
and trying to teach you to not be a perfectionist because it's impossible, it's unrealistic, and it just leads to so much internal hurt and negativity. And for me, that's why resolutions are not allowed because it continues that unhealthy mindset. And so, it's black or white. Like either I lose 30 pounds or I'm a failure. Either I never take another drink for this year or I'm a failure. Like there's no like in between and they're usually extreme.
Yeah.
And so it's just, you know what I think it is? I think
What
it's a
is it?
way for gyms to market themselves.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Like, I think there could be an amazing challenge that we could put out there to people. Like, spend the next month, like, looking for the messaging, the invitations, the marketing, join the gym, or, I was thinking about last year, like, how many restaurants were marketing, like, come in for a mocktail, which again is fabulous, but yet there's also that space of like putting it in your face. And if that's not something you're wanting or you're ready for, just be mindful of it.
Yeah. I just think, and I think we all know that change, if we're going to make changes in ourselves, it's an evolution. It's not a
Mhm.
not doing it today, tomorrow I'm doing it, or doing it today, but not tomorrow. Like if you do it that way, you're going to fail. But if you see yourself as evolving, as changing and growing over time, it's very accomplishable. Like today, I'm going to walk for 10 minutes. Much more accomplishable than today, I'm going to go run a mile, even though I haven't gotten off the couch for 2 weeks.
Right.
Like, let's get realistic about this, friends. So, and I will be the queen of I have tried couch to 5K, I don't know, probably 40 times in my life and never gotten to a full 5K because I'm not meant to be a runner. And I just had to accept that about my body. And I'm so much happier because I have many other ways to work out. And so I just think it's this black and white. And we live in such a culture that it's like you're red or you're blue, you're left or you're right, you're
Yeah.
this or you're that. You're, like we just categorize to the nth. And this is another opportunity to categorize us as good or bad.
Right.
And I don't want to be categorized.
Right.
I just want to be me.
Absolutely. And I want to give a gift to the audience. I want to invite you to take a few moments, either now or later on today, and go back into the Rolodex of your brain and think about the past couple of Januaries. And if you were someone that December, week one went two, week three, and you're like, bam, come January 1st, I'm doing the resolution. Then allow your Rolodex of your brain to go a little bit further at the end of January. And if it worked for you, Christine and I are raising a glass for you. Please tell us your story on Instagram. We would love to hear it. But if you didn't, I want you to take back your January. Take it back. Don't give it away by either the fear, the pressure, the overwhelm, or that perfectionism. Just take it day by day of what you want to do and set that intention, like the gift that Christina just gave you. I
Yeah.
don't
Because
like us
I
giving
think
away our
we
life.
see,
So I had to go on that soapbox. I think we only get one life to live, and we do
right.
not want you to give it away.
We don't have any extra Januaries. And
Love
it
that.
always leads to like, I shouldn't say always, but 99.9% of the time leads to what we call the February slump. That like when you abandon your resolution by February because it was impossible and just way too extreme, you feel like crap in February.
Right.
And February, if you're living anywhere north of Florida, can be a really gray month weather wise. And we don't need extra things to make us slumpy. We
And I
don't.
think the thing that we can do now, if you're in the midst of that, and if you're, I mean, it's only like January 2nd right now, but I mean, like, if you're in the midst of it right now, I love going back to our past episode. Like, if you cast a vision, what do you want your February to look like?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you don't want it to be the heartache or the gut punch of like, I failed again, I didn't succeed, I didn't finish the thing, set the intention of what you want it to look like. Free yourself of those handcuffs, of those really rigid statements and beliefs.
Right. And I think, especially like where we live, we have this pressure to always be more and achieve more and be the best. And I mean, look at what media markets at us constantly. Like this pressure of you're not good enough. You're not enough.
Mm.
You're not enough unless you have. You're not enough unless you do. You're not enough unless you. And so this just feeds into that. And one of the things we love is our listeners who are comfortable and confident in themselves. Like that's such a beautiful thing. I was looking today, I got on the scale for my weekly visit, and over the last like couple months I've realized like I have been in the same like 4-pound range 80% of my adult life.
Mm.
And I'm like, I am done with this. You need to lose 5 pounds. You need to lose 10 pounds. Like, this is where my body is meant to be.
Right.
And it is comfortable. And thankfully, 90% of my clothes fit in this size. And so it's learning how to just realize, like, this is how you're okay to be. Like, just be you.
Right. And I love the word you said, accepting, and it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And Christina and I are big about like noticing how things feel on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And if one of those things about like, I want to run 5 days a week or I want to lose 30 pounds, like, don't just go by the scale or by your app and you're writing down how many days you did run. Notice how you feel in your body.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Yeah. I tell women all the time, I think the BMI scale is a joke. It is meant to create eating disorders. And there's a ton of research on that. So I'm not just throwing that out there at you all. But I just be very careful. And also I always remind women like, look at how many people are watching you and observing you. Like I feel like we are often in a fishbowl of people like looking up to us. And that is a lot of pressure. And if you have children, you have younger nieces, nephews, younger women at work who are looking up to you, you have an incredible opportunity to model different by not coming in with a New Year's resolution and teaching these women how to do it better.
Right.
Teaching your
I love
friends,
that.
teaching other people to say, nope, not doing it. And
Right. I'm not
so,
boxing myself in.
yeah. So I think what we really need to say, like, we've left you with a lot of confusion. So now we're going to teach you, what does it mean to gift yourself with no resolutions? Like, how do we handle this when everybody's like, what's your New Year's resolution? You're like, nothing. I'm good.
Just own it, claim it,
Yeah.
own it, and just say it. Right. Because when you do that, you're shifting the focus from rigid goals to being allowing a space of self compassion and flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
And with that,
Yeah.
I think you can embrace a mindset of self acceptance rather than self criticism, right? If that coworker says, "Oh, here we are. How are the holidays? Hey, what's your resolutions?" And you give a statement like Christina said, "Hey, I'm good. I'm actually not setting those resolutions for January." Like that's allowing yourself to communicate to yourself and to others, I'm accepting exactly where I am right now. And it also doesn't put out the opportunity for criticism either from yourself or if you have that person who's like super competitive, like in your office or in your family, that's like, oh, you're gonna like go to the gym 5 days a week and then they check in with you because really that's kind of their stuff, as we always talk about. Like if they haven't done the thing, like it just shuts that right down.
Yeah. And it encourages them towards more healthy living. That's what I love. So, I think it's also learning how to be curious. And I
Mm.
love that word. I love that word. Yesterday, I attended one of the most incredible CEs that I've attended in a very long time. And it was an incredible Native American psychologist and talking about the healing intergenerational trauma and finding joy in your healing. And the word joy just like totally hit me in the most beautiful ways. And I've literally spent the last almost 24 hours just processing like, what does joy mean? The ironic thing is, like, literally last week, I bought my daughter and I matching holiday shirts. And I thought they were cute because they were like sequensy and all that. And the word on them is joy. And I had no
Ah,
idea. And I got like so excited now.
yep.
And so I know, and Helene, when we were prepping for this, like kind of like internally rolled her eyes at me in the cutest of ways. I'm not outing you, Helene. But I was like, oh, I like words to like, how do I bring a word into my life? And she's like, that's overused. And it is overused in the sense that it's like, can be used in a very punitive way, like you must live by this word. And that's not how I use it. I use it as, where can I notice this word in my life?
Oh, I like that.
A couple years ago, when I was starting therapy suites, the co-working space, I had the word empower. And I bought one of those key necklaces and it had the word
Hmm.
empower and I wore it like all the time because I saw my year as being a year to empower others and empower myself, like both. You can do both. And so I was like really into it and like, where can I empower others? Where can I empower others? And I just wore that key for that year and longer. I may still have it because I haven't let it go. And so, like, love that. Then, I can think of a year that I was like, I need to really focus on my health. So I made like all the doctor's appointments that I'd been avoiding for years. I, started getting into like activities that I loved. That was the year I decided you're not a runner and it's okay. I love this idea of curiosity. And I go back to that. Like maybe a word that you can use this year is look for moments where you're curious, where you want to know more. My husband asks a million questions and I'm always like, oh, I don't know. But I love in the same token how absolutely curious he is. Like he's
Mm.
always wanting to learn more and understand, which is great.
Yeah.
So, how can you be curious this year instead of punitive to yourself? Like, what can you learn about yourself, learn about others, and figure out, like, what do you enjoy? So, I think this might be a year of us being curious together.
I love that. And I think an example, like, let me give them a tangible example of what it could be to be curious. Like, a rigid goal could be something to the effect of over the first 3 months of the year, I will read 50 books. Like that's a black and white statement. Either you banged it out and you did it, or you didn't do it. But something that leads to that really powerful word that Christina said, curious, could be more like, I'm curious about books on personal development and fiction, and I'm going to allow myself over the next 3 months to review those books and see if there's any that I really enjoy. So
Yeah.
one is very rigid. I did it or I didn't do it. The other one is just saying, I'm really curious. And these are two like genres. And I'm going to allow myself over the next like 90 days to explore it. And I think when you lean into curiosity, like you also talk to yourself in a way that's very, it offers much more self compassion.
It's
You
kind.
reduce the pressure, you focus on allowing yourself a sense of forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And it really, I keep going back to it, drops any potential judgment or perfectionism. Like you're kind of bubble wrapping yourself. Like you're curious about something, you're putting it out there, and you're allowing yourself to stroll through seeing how it feels.
100%. I love that. I love that just focusing on nurturing yourself and reducing the pressure. I think that's enormous. And I think when we can do that, it offers us such an open world to appreciate the gifts that are meant to be ours
Mm,
and not trying to take the gifts that don't work in our lives.
yeah.
You know, it's like a puzzle piece. What I say is it's like a puzzle piece. Like you have a puzzle in front of you, 1,000 pieces. And if you keep trying to put the same piece in a spot that doesn't work, right?
Mm,
The gift that isn't meant to be yours,
right.
you're never going to get the stinking puzzle done. But if you're
Right.
curious and you come to it with a nurturing of well-being and realistic expectations, like not going to finish 1,000 piece puzzle in 3 hours, um, then you're in a calm state to just keep trying. And usually you get more pieces in
Yeah.
because you're able to go, oh, it didn't work. Well, let me try it here. And you're open to exploration
I
and you
love
aren't
that.
rigid that it has to be this way. You know, you're not going to fit a square peg in a round hole. Like we hear that all the time. But there may be 50 sizes of square holes. So we have to try things out. It's okay. So maybe you do try to go to the gym, but you have a realistic expectation. And you're like, yeah, you know what? I really like this. And I could see myself
Mhm.
doing this a couple times a week. Fine,
I
go
think
for it.
another powerful place about like giving yourself no resolutions or another gift you can get from it is that if you set a resolution, like most of us end up like just writing it out and checking in with ourselves at the beginning of the year or the beginning of that challenge. But again, it goes back to if you're not rigid with the resolution and you lean into more curiosity and exploration, it invites you to check in with yourself along the way. It's almost like, I don't know, Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. Like, I'm going to go down the Yellow Brick Road, the Wizard of Oz, and like all the way, I'm going to like keep checking in with myself. Like, how is this feeling? Am I reading the books that give me joy? Am I reading the books that spark my interest? Am I moving
Yeah.
my body in ways that align with make me feel proud and happy and the
Mhm.
results that I want? Like it invites the conversation within yourself over and over again rather than just at the beginning of that really rigid exploration time.
I love what you said. It's living with intention, not obligation. Like that is powerful. Mindfully choosing things and habits that feel good to you. I want to repeat that because that's so
Mm,
powerful, Helene. And not doing things because you feel like you have to.
right.
Love that. So, my dad is coming to stay with us for a few days. And I have a lot of have tos of like getting ready for him to come. And when I got home from work last night, my children had made signs for his door
Oh,
and they're calling it Grandpa's Suite, which I love. Not that my house is big enough for a suite, but cool. And they just like did all these pictures of his favorite things on there. And they like both brought down like cute stuffed animals that they think will make grandpa happy and like just all these things. And it was never a have to. They just
right.
love it. And then they feel so good about it. And they're so excited to like share this with him.
I love that because if it was something that like they were given the task to do it, it may not look anything like how they created, right? So if
Yeah.
someone tells you you have to go to the gym for the first 30 days of the year, it may not be how you want to move your body. It may not
Right.
be the exercises you want to do, but they chose to do it. And the gift is that grandpa gets the sweet of how they envisioned it or how it was giving them joy. I love that.
I love it. Yes. So there's such, oh, aren't kids like total role models for us?
Yeah.
Yes. I
Oh,
always say, like, some of my best moments in therapy and some of my greatest memories as a therapist have to do with kids. Like, the stuff they say and the things that they do have been life changing for me as a psychologist.
okay. Future episode. And then we're going to get back on track because now I'm taking us over the gifts that we get from watching children or the gifts that we get from
Oh,
children.
yeah.
Okay. Get ready for us. All
There
right.
we go. So, back to no
Gifts.
resolutions.
Yeah.
You know, we're encouraging you to create flexible goals or not. See yourself as an evolution, not a rigid. And, you know, create that flexibility for yourself. So, our challenge to you, friends, in a beautiful way, not in a competitive way, is to
Mm-mm.
create a gift for yourself this year. Instead of resolutions, focus on a theme for your year. It might be in the form of a word, as me, or it might be in a form of exploring and curiosity, and creating that space for yourself to change over time, or appreciate who you are and keep yourself that way.
Right, like that example you gave before, if the coworker says, "What's your resolutions?" and you're like, "I'm good." I
Right.
love that.
Or, you know, me, that I'm choosing to be comfortable in my body. Like, I looked at the scale and I was like, sister, you have been here the majority of your life. This is where your body's meant to be. Let's appreciate that.
Right, and that right there can just squash all the potential criticism, judgment, shame, future goal setting that may not be attainable. Like it's your birthday moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my beautiful grand booty is meant to stay, and she's part of me, and we're friends. And she helps me always have a cushion to sit on. So we're friends.
The other gift of like not doing resolutions is that I think if you sign up for all the things, whether it's really tangible or whether it's marketing, you get to really reflect on what you really need. Like
Yeah.
you get to ask yourself, what really matters to me right now?
You're right.
You could ask yourself the question like what you offered, what brings me joy? And you can use some of these answers. You can even write them out or just recall them to guide your choices into things that help you feel good. Because again, Christina and I are all about feeling the things in your body. So if one thing you might want is to really invest in your relationships, that's how you might choose some of your time. Like you may not have if you set the goal, like every month I'm going to do this with this friend or I'm going to do this, like it's so forceful. But I think if you just allow the statement of, I want to invest in my relationships, you can check in with you and your time, and then you'll be more present and experience the joy of it.
Yeah. And it allows us then to practice gratitude and self celebration. We
Which
can
I love.
celebrate our progress, no matter how big or small, and have gratitude for ourselves, which is enormous. Enormous. And our favorite, do not play the comparison game. And that is in season 1. Go find it if you are comparing yourself to everybody else. Sister, you need to knock that crap off because you are amazing and beautiful just the way you are. And I genuinely mean that. Every woman, every person, every human I encounter, I genuinely believe you're beautiful the way you are. You may have some difficult, messy moments life that you're going through, growth opportunities, but you are beautiful and amazing. And if nobody has told you that today,
Let
please
us.
rewind that and play that a few times for yourself, that you are
Yeah.
beautiful and wonderful the way you are.
So happy birthday. Friends, we had the conversation of gifting yourself no resolutions, if that's wanted, to show you that by doing so, you can possibly embrace a more fluid, self-compassionate approach to your personal growth. To do this, allow yourself to leave those things like self-judgment, perfectionism, and obligation in 2024. Like, look back at it. If you brought it with you, go back. Say, nope, I left that on 2024 and step back into 2025.
Yeah.
If you found this helpful, we would be so grateful if you shared it with others and leave us a positive review wherever you listen. We hang out on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon Music. And again, if you are one of our friends who nailed the resolutions, please, we want to hear from you. All about it. The motivation, the sparkle, what keeps you going. Put it on our Facebook, our Instagram, and our LinkedIn page. We want to hear from you. All right, friends, until next Thursday, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.